You may be seated. Roll call members, please.
Mr. Jeter, District 1. Mr. Tipton, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Herron, District 3.
Here.
Mr. Bricky, District 4.
Here.
Mr. Mann, District 5.
Here.
Ms. Hood, District 6. Here. Ms. Addington, at large. Here.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, we need to approve the agenda. Do we have a motion to do so? Is there any amendments to the agenda to start?
I don't have any.
All right, we need to approve the agenda as presented to you. Do we have a motion to do so?
I'll make the motion, Mr.
All right.
Chairman.
Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next item, to approve the minutes from March 1st, 2023. Do we have a motion? Hope everybody had a chance to look at the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented to you?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Herron made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Addington, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. And Mr. Tipton abstained. With that, the next item is citizen expression period. I'll read this short statement. Citizen expression period is upon the meeting, and anyone who wishes to address the board or staff may do so. If you wish to speak, please come to the podium and state your name, where you're from in the county, and or what organization you represent. The board may or may not respond to anything you say, but we will take everything you say into account when making future decisions. Please keep your comments concise and business-like. If no one has signed up to speak, has anyone to start?
They have not.
We have no particular order. We just ask that you take the turns and speak your business. Any action will be considered after we close citizen expression. So with that, we'll open the citizen expression period. We do have several things on the agenda. If you're not on the agenda, you may come and speak if you would. Yes, ma'am.
I hate to be personal now, but I've got to go fix fence at the car.
Okay. Glad to see you this morning.
Well, we're back.
Go ahead and state your name with the reference of it.
I figured you might know it.
Oh,
by
we
now.
do.
I'm Peggy Tyson. I'm representing Snowflake Road. And good morning.
Morning.
And I'm talking about the road conditions on Snowflake Road. Since the last meeting, we have got more gravel, and they graded it. But only thing is, when you live on a dirt road, they graded it, put gravel, but you're still on a dirt road. You've got speed bumps, holes, dirt, dust, mud. And I know you guys all know what we're dealing with. And I guess y'all haven't heard anything on the $7 billion for roads and repair of bridges that we got a letter from Warner.
We heard at Lennowisco meeting Monday night. That came down to the federal government when Warner and Kane sent it out. They were only going to take about 15 projects across the nation, if I'm correct, and they got 40 some. So that was, they really made a mistake in putting that out.
So not in,
I'd say there won't be much in Virginia because, am I correct, Marshall, on that?
Yeah.
You are.
So that money is
okay,
worse than winning the lottery.
okay. And I haven't called Kilgore's office since the last meeting because I've been busy, but I'll kind of get back on that. And I guess we're coming to make sure that we get on that 6-year plan. Jeremy, I'm not only asking Jeremy, I'm asking all of you. Make sure that Snowflake Road is put on the 6-year plan.
All 3.1 miles, that's what it is. It's at least 3 miles, right? That's not paved.
Yeah,
There's like 17 or 18 houses on
yeah. And I thank y'all for anything that you can do to help us. And we'll see you next month.
In May.
And I've always heard, you know, that the greasy wheel gets the grease. Well, this wheel is squeaking.
It is.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wishing to speak? Good morning.
Hello.
My name is Morgan Eastep. I am a member of New Herlin Baptist Church, and I live in Hiltons, Virginia. Today I'm here also about our church road. It is in very rough condition. That's road number 694, and it's New Herlin Church Lane. It's roughly half a mile. There is very, very large potholes. It's impossible to miss them. We have had to ask for gravel multiple times throughout the year with VDOT, so I've been in contact with them multiple times. And we had asked for a repair last year where it was kind of eroding away, and they did come out and fix that. But we do hold multiple revivals throughout the year. We just built a new sanctuary that holds roughly 150 people. And we do have out-of-town visitors coming to those revivals. So it is a little bit embarrassing when you have to apologize for the road condition to them. But I am here just to request for the road be submitted on the VDOT Royal Rustic Road project list, which I know can take some time. So, but that's really all I had.
That was 694, did you say?
Yeah, road number 694, and it's New Herlin Church Lane in Hiltons, Virginia.
I spelled Hurl.
It's H-U-R-L-A-N-D.
And that's what, about a half a mile?
Yeah. There are a few residents that live on that road as well, but we do meet 3 times, morning and night on Sundays, and then on Wednesdays for church.
Get some help with it.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Morning all. My name's Gary Baker, and I've got some pictures of our roads up here in Marshall. Flash them around there. The reason I'm here today is I live in Fulkerson District 2, Boozy Creek section of Clark's Precinct. Our roads up there are a total disaster. I've had 2 of the supervisors up there 2 years ago, and now they're even worse. All the tiles are stopped up, all the ditches are stopped up. Where the ditches are stopped up, it's even caving in the roads up under the roads. And the people was just wanting me to come down here and see if you fellas could get Sally to write the governor maybe every week and get them turned around up there. I thought he was, when we elected him, he was going to help us, but evidently not. Whoever's over that Virginia Department of Taxation up there in Richmond needs to come down here and look at our situation. Now, we've even got one section of that Boozy Creek Road that the mountain is falling off, and we've showed it, both supervisors. And if it falls off, that whole road's gonna be closed off. And I don't know what they're gonna do then. And the trees that has failed, VDOT has just cut the limbs out of the roads and just left them laying. Well, how do they expect the people with the bush hogs that comes along and cutting off the roads, how are they gonna cut off the roads with all that mess laying there? If you fellas can get VDOT to bring a road grader up there, we'll clean that mess out ourselves and all the tiles. But I don't know what else to do but come before you all. And people has written the governor and everything else, but maybe Sally can call them and get something done for us. Hopefully. But that's all I've got to say, and you all can look at the pictures there, and I don't know what else to tell you, but we'd appreciate any help that you all can give us. How's Martha? I can't get a hold of her.
Last I heard, she was with her son.
Doing pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good.
I can't hear a good song, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've been trying to get a hold of her, can't get a hold of her. But if you all can help us, we sure appreciate it. And anytime y'all want to come up there and holler at me, I'll be glad to show you what I'm talking about, if these pictures can't tell you what it is. Thank you all.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Gary.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Well,
Anyone else? So with that, we'll come out of citizen expression period, and any comments here from the board on what you've heard here this morning?
What's the breakdown of the pictures? Are they all different names?
What is that road name?
Oozy Creek Road, Federal Road, and Bristol Highway. They've all got, Bristol Highway especially's got trees laid across on the sides of the road that needs to be cut out, pulled out, or whatever. Maybe they need to hire more people for VDOT and start it back instead of that. I forgot to say that.
Okay.
Hey, Gary. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I have contacted VDOT, and I think you and I probably had a discussion about that. And so they are fully aware of it. So whatever we can do to light some firing under them, I mean, that's what we need to do. Because really, he's not really exaggerating. The roads are in horrible shape, and there's many of them, that way. Not just there. AP Carter Highway, Amy goes there all the time. I drive that road.
Federal roads.
Yeah, it is. It is.
One thing that Jeremy or Mr. Herron here has talked about a lot is when they took away the crew from Nicholsville and they got all centralized. You know, when I worked for the state, we got paid for travel time. Their travel time is a lot now from where they're located to get in the far reaches of the county. That takes away from their work time, plus they're short-handed. And so hopefully, I don't know if they ever get something back in Nicholsville, but that travel time, I mean, you know, about an hour probably. You know, so you're talking about 2 hours each way time you get there and back, and then, so they're limited on how much time they have to even do the work. And so I don't know what the answer to that is, but hopefully they could maybe get more people or allow them to work longer hours in the day and give them more work time, because that is an issue. Where they're located, it takes a long time to tram equipment and stuff from there to wherever they want to go in the county. They are centrally located, I think, where the Fort Blackmore headquarters are, but I think that's an issue where they have so much travel time to get back and forth where they need to be working. There's issues everywhere. It's not just unique to that road. And Snowflake Road, you heard Peggy talk about it. And so I don't know, it's an issue that's ongoing, and hopefully that somewhere along the way that they will be able to do more than what they're doing. So anyone else have any comments or about this?
And I think, am I correct, in that you did a lot of work orders up in that area?
We did last year.
I did.
With Gary.
You did?
I went up there and we took a lot, I took pictures and we submitted work orders. And
Right. And followed
I mean,
up.
that's all we can do, really.
Yeah.
I mean, in that respect. I mean, we can call and we put those work orders in, and I took pictures for you.
County attorney, let her write them every week and get on them. Maybe Youngkin will order them, the Department of Taxation, to do something. That's our only choice.
Yeah.
I will say, but thank y'all for coming, and like I said, it's an issue every month we have, and I get it, I do, but I know it's to try to, you know, over 250 miles of unpaved roads, and you go anywhere in the county and see the same thing.
Yeah.
I know one place that the drain pipe has actually collapsed. It's dropped this far, been like it for 3 years, and you go across it, you got to just about stop, and both ends of the pavement is caved in at the drain pipe, and it's been like that for 3 years. And so I don't know, it's amazing how that they're, I don't know, the funding I guess is where it's all at, but hopefully something will happen with this. I do appreciate you coming. We need to hear about it, and we'll do what we can to see if we can rectify this and fix
Gary,
it.
you have another comment? You have another comment?
She won't say anything. I'm Charles Taylor. I live in District 2 and 13428 Bristol Highway. And from Sage Road until just this side of Portland Road, Highway, Bristol Highway. I mean, hit somebody, it's pitiful. Right now, the road, when the leaves gets on, you can't see none of the signs, you can't see nothing. The road signs were cut off and brush the sides of your car. Last summer, I was at the end of my mailboxes.
cutting some limbs off where my neighbor could see to get out, pull out the highway where we want to get hit. Two VDOT guys come along in a pickup, went over, I need any help. I told them what it's done. They said, we got a new tractor. When the lease gets off, we're gonna come through here and cut this brush back. I've not seen this tractor yet. And the last contractor they had up there, it's poor excuse. He'd work a day and be down 2 weeks. The last count I had, you couldn't get a hydraulic hose for that machine. People, there ain't no sense in that right there. But where's that new tractor at to go? Cause that, you can't hardly get down that highway for brush. All thing keeps it open that we can get up and down through there is trucks and knocking the limbs back, and that's how bad it is. So, anything y'all can do to help us, we appreciate it. It's Highway 58, 421, the US highway, and that's a shame, it's a disgrace. So, thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, next, any more comments here from anyone?
You know, maybe we do need to send another letter. I know we've sent, what, 2 or 3. And invite them down here to look at these roads and take them and let them butt their heads on the ceiling as they're going down the road and they hit a ditch that's, you know, I have a 3/4 ton truck and there's ditches on probably all these roads, but I know Snowflake, the Gate Road, that my truck bottoms out. You know, there's people on that road that have small vehicles, you know, and I don't see how they can get over some of them. But maybe we could invite them down here, let them look. Funding, that's where it's at. It needs to change.
Thank you. Anyone else? Our next item on the agenda is item 7, Twin Springs SCTC leadership group is here. So y'all just got here, y'all from Twin Springs, I'm assuming? All right. So Ms. Addington, I think, is she with you all?
Yes.
Okay. You want to come and talk to us? You can bring some of the kids with you if you want, so it's all good to have.
Forward and back on your presentation.
Oh, they'll do the presentation. Good morning, board. I'm Miss Addington. I teach FACS classes at Twin Springs. I have a leadership class that has a presentation they want to present. It's on tourism, and it's what teens want and wish for Scott County to help them get. So I'll let them speak for themselves, but thank you for allowing us to come.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Good morning.
Going out my
Yeah.
Feel good?
Yeah.
All right.
I love seeing this. I love seeing this. Oh, I do too. Getting involved. I think that's the most important thing. Future Scott County. Yeah, future Scott County right here.
Sorry.
Yeah, just click that.
Just click it. Okay.
Should work. All right.
Click on the right.
Okay.
There right there.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we learned this stuff from you all, so you're all up on the board, us other people. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Margaret Webb. I'm Mary Pasquale. And I'm Taylor Jones. And we are going to present you guys of our tourism project, and I hope you guys really like it.
Tourism we have in Scott County, Virginia. We have restaurants, consignment stores, parks, small clothing stores, small water spots, and the zoo.
Why what we have is not enough? What do all of those things have in common? They're all mostly family related. Nothing in Scott County is just really for teenagers and young adults. We can only go to the zoo so many times. Eventually swimming in the same water spot gets old. Our families and friends drive all the way to Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol just to have a fun time or eat at a certain restaurant.
We need something closer and available for us to have easy access.
Have you considered how teenagers feel? We have taken it upon ourselves to survey teenagers from our county high schools about what they would like to have in Scott County for recreational activities. During your planning of tourism for Scott County, did you ask our county teens what they would like to have? Because growing up is love.
We need something to entertain ourselves. We are blessed with minds that let us use our imaginations to engage us. But now everything has changed. We need fun activities in our county to keep us interested in helping us grow, socialize with others, and stay in Scott County.
Let us help you. Our group has worked together to do research on our project to locate county-owned properties. Contacted Commissioner of Revenue, Economic Development, and Tourism.
Would this be the opportunity? We discovered that the Riverside property is owned by Scott County. The teenagers are asking for a theater, arcade, bowling alley, and a roller skate ring. With big consideration, you can make our dreams come true.
Riverside property. We found out that there is a lien on the building.
Could the funding from the casino help?
Are there other properties that could be used?
Are there other properties that could be used?
So, could the funding from the casino help?
Well, from what I understand about the casino funding, we can spend money on emergency services, transportation, and education.
Public safety.
Okay, public safety. There would probably be some limits on that, but maybe that could loosen up some money in our budget that we may be able to, that's just something we've got to look at. You know, the casino money's new, of course, we've not received any yet, so that we do have a committee that'll be looking at all that, so yeah.
And I know that there's grants as well for individual and businesses, so we could probably talk to John Kilgore about that, and we could meet up with him or something, if you guys do want to.
John is here, and
Yes.
Fountain Tourism, she's here.
We mean something to Scott County. There may be obstacles to overcome, but we are still going to pursue our dreams. We want you to take our dreams into consideration. Us, teenagers, we mean something because we are the future. We are positive all teens here in Scott County are wanting the same thing, jobs. Teenagers need jobs. We can bring jobs in from this and make a huge profit. Do you guys agree with us?
We do, I do.
Absolutely.
For sure.
What do we want? We've looked through 68 responses from the survey we sent out to Twin Springs, Rock Cove, and Gay City High and Middle School FACS classes. We have them for you to review, which is what is in those pamphlets. And as you look over the responses, you can easily determine that we want the same thing. We've provided pictures of how we can make the Riverside building into a big arcade.
This is John Kilgore's plan for the plot of land. We've contacted him already, and he has told us to continue other ideas for tourism. This is an aerial picture of the Riverside property. We were unable to receive blueprints, or we would have interior designs of this building.
Bowling alley with arcade. 8 bowling lanes, 15 to 20 arcade games.
One skating rink.
4 theater rooms, 30 seats in each room.
This is what our vision is. Help us watch it come true.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
We will answer all questions as of now.
You all got your act together on this, don't you?
Yes.
I'm impressed, I really am. You know, you all done your research.
Yes.
So you're not shooting from the hip, y'all take aim, and I like what you're saying here.
So you've talked to John Kilgore about what the building can be used for?
Yeah.
So John, can we use that for this? I mean, potentially, maybe? I mean, do you want to?
Actually, and you know, she said that's my plan. That's not my plan. That is the developer's plan that she had up there on the picture. So we're working with a developer, a housing developer on the property. If you look at the buildings, there's a lien on the building, and we owe about $2.2 million on the building. The value of that building, though, you've got to look at the value in today's dollars is about $225 a square foot. You're looking probably at $5 to $6 million is the value of that building. Now, the building was built for job creation and for investment. And we had a company that was in there for over 5 years. And when COVID hit, they moved out and never came back. But some of those people working from home, a lot of them went to work from home. So that was designed as a technology building. So all of your infrastructure, your wiring and everything is in a raised floor like you would have done at the 911 center. So that it is a big investment. We're working with our engineer now to come up with a study to apply to DHCD to repurpose that building. So I don't know what they'll come up with. But our engineers want to work with us on repurposing the building. We're also working with that developer. I don't know what his plans are. So he may have some different plans about the Riverside property as well. So we are working. That's not the only property, you know, that Scott County owns either. So we have property in Duffield as well. But all of the property that the Economic Development Authority that we've worked with, we've utilized and got grant money to create jobs for you all for the future of the county. So we've been fortunate, had a lot of expansions with Tempur-Pedic, Tempur-Sealy now, with VFP, with Komatsu, and expansions. So that's the same thing that this park was built for. With the initial investment that the county made of $2 million, we've been able to get another $5 million in grant funds, and then this loan on the building as well. So that's a large investment for the county. So something to think about. I appreciate y'all though coming and talking, and we need more student involvement. I think that as y'all look to the next years, I know some of y'all are running, it may be great to have a plan and include students in that plan and come up with a strategic plan for the county. Not just economic development, tourism, include everything in that. We did that a few years ago, or well, it's been longer than that, it's been 15 years ago probably. We need to do it again. Y'all have any questions?
No.
Okay.
Something, John, that might help is, you know, the county owns different properties throughout the county. I mean, not only buildings, but vacant lots and stuff like that. You know, maybe for them, or if you do get a group together, if you had those listed, and maybe where they would know where they're at and what they would be suitable for and things like that.
And remember, the school owns property too.
Right.
So
right.
It's the all county, it's not just
Right.
you all, it's
Right.
the board of supervisors
Yeah,
and
right.
the school board, they all own property. Right?
So your all's presentation would be good for the school board.
Absolutely, that's what I was going to say. I would present that to your school board
Yeah.
as well, because that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
And don't quit. Don't quit.
And you know, maybe for the EDA, one of your all's meetings, you know, John he's sort of over the, well, he is the, he's not sort of, he is the EDA director. But they have a committee, you know, that meets, you know, it'd be a good chance to let them hear what the young people want to get.
26th of April at 6 o'clock in this same room. Yeah, you're welcome to come.
I think your school board met last night. Do they meet the first Tuesday? So
You need to get other representatives from the other high schools involved with you. Like Gate City.
I got another question. The acronym SCCLA, I should know what that stands for.
what does FCCLA stand for?
We have one of our officers. So either one of them.
We have two.
Okay.
We have two. I have Leah.
I didn't put you on the spot.
It stands for Family Career Community Leaders of America.
Wow, that's easy.
I am impressed, but I do want y'all to get more involved. You've got involved, but even in pursue this. So, and I agree. I mean, I hate going to have to go across the state line to eat.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat here someplace, but we don't have the the restaurants and stuff they have when you go that way, so. But I'd like to spend my money here instead of going down there. And as we grew up here, most of us did as teenagers, and we know where you're coming from. So it's an issue.
Pam, would you like to say anything? Do you want?
Well, I agree with everything that they've said. If you all will remember when we did the visitor survey, one of the main things that they came up with was that we needed a thunderstorm day place to go. Everything is geared towards the outside. There's no place to go during the day if it rains. And their idea is spot on. You know, we had also talked with Spearhead Trails about things that we could do here that would all be inside, an indoor facility. So I commend you all, and if anyone would like to be on my tourism committee, or if anyone would like to work with us on the VA 250 project, we need nice, warm, young, bright bodies to work with us. And we need people who are enthusiastic and who want to be here and who want to stay in the county. Yes. and see and improve their county, and most importantly, believe in Scott County and believe in all the great place that this is. So thank you all.
Thank you. Give them a hand. If I like to, maybe get a picture of the whole group. Ms. Agnes, you can head them up here, and I'd like to get a picture of the whole group.
Girls, if you want to see your presentation, look up the Board of Supervisors on YouTube, and you're on there forever.
Y'all come on up here. So, Steve, Cameron, Steve.
All right, kids, look right here.
Thank you for
1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. The guys in the back are trying to hide.
I'm trying.
Aren't you two the officers?
Yes.
So we can see your shirt. See, there you go.
They're going to competition during spring break. They're doing focus on the children. They'll be in Virginia Beach. The competition is, the conference is in Virginia Beach, and it's our state conference. If we have a first place or a second place, they will get to go to Denver, Colorado. Gate City, middle and high school in Ryco, we're all going, we're all competing. But like I said, we're looking forward to it.
Will they make this presentation there?
No, they have another one. They have Focus on the Children. They have made a sensory tool for people, for students when they get anxiety or depression, and it's something really sweet.
Oh, yes. We need that tool right now.
So you're taking a spring break, and you're going to be doing stuff on spring break.
Yes.
Yes.
We leave the 13th and come back on the 16th.
Oh, amazing.
Congratulations on it. Thank you all.
Thank you for having
us.
Good job.
Could I just mention, thank you all for coming, and what you all have done, really speaks volumes as to what you want to change, and what you're asking is for fun and activities and something social, and which is really great, and and hopefully you'll take some of the ideas that came from some of the board members, that you can make this grow, and I think that's very healthy, and thank you all very much.
And I will mention, we are all on the county website, so email us, call us. We're happy to, talk to you about anything, any ideas you have, and we're happy to bring all those up to the board as we can, because like you all said, you are the future. And I really appreciate your teacher too for taking this opportunity and giving you this opportunity. This is great. The more involved you are, the more, the more you learn, the more you know. It's just great. I'm just impressed.
They've worked hard.
They have worked very hard, and I personally appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And one day I want to see you all up here, if I live long, to see you sitting up here.
I do too, that's what I was gonna say.
Davenport Financing, and Mr. Rose is here, so. Can you follow that act? Is that a hard act to follow?
It's not fair, Mr. Chairman. I have to come behind that. That's why I wear that dark suit. But no, I have some good news this morning, and I think all of you should have copies of what I'm going to present. And I think, I don't know if it's up on the screen at all, but as long as you have it in front of you. Again, I'm David Rose, and I am with Davenport, and I've had the good fortune with my colleagues of working with your staff and your county administrator and attorney and others for many years. So what we're going to talk about today in front of you is what we call the 2023 radio equipment financing, the results. Over the last several months, actually going back over a year now or so, I've had the good fortune of being in front of all of you talking about various county needs and requirements, things that you basically have no control over but are required to do, such as the radio program. So here on page 1 of the background, we take a look at and have worked with you for years on your overall capital needs and how to make sure those are done responsibly and as the costs we recognize are significant. Back in the beginning of this year, we identified, working with your staff, the E911 radio equipment, and we were then given the directive by you through county administrator to go out and look at funding options and see what we could procure. When we did that back in March 30th, we received 6 different proposals that were coming from a variety of bank lenders throughout the country. And I'll get into that in a moment. But I think the important takeaway here is that in spite of all the things going on in the economy, inflation, uncertainty, what have you, when you get 6 different proposals for what is a relatively modest size financing from the banking perspective, not from yours, not from mine, that speaks volumes about the way in which your finances are being managed. So I think that's very, very important. I can recall not many years ago when we would be lucky to get 1 or 2 responses to things that we were looking for and really had to do some arm twisting to get some folks to say we'd like to. But you have done a very good job, particularly under your administrator, of adding to your fund balances and adding to the overall strength of the county. It's a never-ending struggle, I realize that, but that has been very much what's happened. So you go to page 2, one of the things we did and asked for was to get a fixed rate for basically 10 years. You'll see on the left-hand side, I go back to when I started, basically right after 1980-81 time frame, some 40 plus years ago. Interest rates were up towards 15%. That was for fixed rates. Today, they're closer to 4 to 5%, and that is very, very strong. Again, not where we were a year and a half ago at 2% or thereabouts, but still, by historical standards, over 40 plus years, really quite good. And I think that's important as we look at borrowing. So if you go to page 3, these results, what we asked for was up to $1.6 million. That would cover the radio equipment, other costs, and we work with bond counsel, Sands Anderson. Some of those folks have been here before, you'll recognize them. And we basically did a planning estimate back at 5%. So that was our goal, is to be under 5%. You're going to see in a couple of moments, we're considerably under 5%. And again, that speaks to not only your strength, but also the competitiveness that was created by actually putting out bids like this. So we ended up with two banks that we want to talk to you about today. Bank of America, which again, you don't get any bigger than that, and Powell Valley here in the area, a very, very solid bank we do a lot with. And we asked them both if they would give us their fixed rates. So on page 4, we ended up looking at the two of them, and the Bank of America rate was fixed for 10 years at a little over 3.3%. Again, we used 5% as our benchmark. We were really hoping to be in the low 4s. As a result, both Bank of America and Powell Valley are under 4%. And I point out that these rates, I should say, are locked in through the closing. So even if markets move, and they have moved, we're set with both of them. Now, one of the things I would point out is that when we looked at both Bank of America and Powell Valley, they were anywhere between $150,000 and $200,000 less than what we had estimated over time. So that put us in a good mode. Candidly, Bank of America was the lowest. It was some $20,000 per year lower than the estimates than we had talked about with Ms. Starnes. At the end of the day, the one last point here, and the reason your resolution is broad, is we do not have the final credit approval from Bank of America. And if for some reason we do not get that, we think we will, but if we don't, then we are able to move into the financing with Powell Valley. Still lower than the estimate, but not by as much. So our goal, and frankly, I would talk to Powell Valley if that's the case to see if we couldn't get that rate knocked a little bit down. I can't assume we would, but nevertheless, it can't hurt to ask if we have to do that. So with that said, on page 5, we're recommending that you approve the resolution, Mr. Chairman, with the board today. That will allow both the banks to know that, again, we are moving forward. It will also allow the folks that are putting all the documentation together to effect dot the i's, cross the t's, what have you, because we're going to show you in a moment when we're thinking about have to close on the loan here. The important thing about this, I said interest rates are very good, but both of these banks provide us with the ability to prepay the loan if we want, very flexibly prepay it for whatever reason. And we've had that in the past when I've been in front of you. We've exercised that for any number of reasons. Mr. Kilgore's here today, he knows that. Sometimes it's not about interest rates, it's about moving and changing purposes for the loan or what have you. So again, this is set up to be flexible, and we can prepay it early, but nevertheless, we wanted to make sure you realize we have that ability. So on page 6, the last page here, today, April 5th, we'll ask that you agree with the recommendation of the staff, of bond counsel, ourselves, and we approve the resolution for the financing. There is nothing necessary through the economic development folks. The way this is set up, this would be the only action that's necessary. We are looking at closing hopefully prior to May 10th. We know you've got your next meeting on May 3rd. I have that there as a placeholder. If for some reason we have to come back, hopefully not, it's at least there, just so you know. But the goal is to have this closed in the next 30 to 40 days. And again, it's been reviewed and approved by bond counsel in addition to myself and my colleagues. So again, we've done this with you before. County is in better shape financially than it's been, and I'm happy to see that, but once again, it's sort of a never-ending process. So that's really all I'm going to say. Happy to answer any questions. Appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning.
I like the comments and where we are financially, and good presentation. I'm surprised with interest rates are below 5, I really am. So I appreciate that. So anyway, any comments or questions from any of you all? And this will be finalized May the 10th, I think, is what you said. It should be, everything should be.
If not a few days earlier, yes, sir.
This resolution, it's in the pack, okay. Anyway, I've seen the resolution, yeah, here it is. And hopefully, it's quite a bit of it. I've went through and looked at it, and I hope y'all have too. So, and it's in the packet. I thought, well, I had it somewhere, but I couldn't find it. Ms. Lawrence getting her copy. Anyway, this resolution needs to be done. We'll get this financing to take place. We can authorize this resolution as it's presented, as you should have a copy of it. So any comments or questions about this?
An authorization for me to sign.
An authorization, okay, an authorization for Ms. Lawrence to sign all the documents. Can we include that in the resolution? We'll vote to do it all at one time. Can we do it all at once?
It is probably included in the resolution.
All right, so with that, we'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution to proceed with this and allow Ms. Lawrence to sign all necessary documents. So do we have a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Brick has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion?
I just said, this is a great move. You know, it's been talked about, discussed, you know, from going from the analog digital communication. And I'm sure our services are police and rescue, EMS, and all of that are looking forward to this happening. So, long time needed, so great deal.
We have a motion second. All in favor of saying aye? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, I think we should take a roll call vote, because a lot of towns, this is a better approach for bond counsel. So if you don't mind, just a roll call.
Mr. Jeter? Mr. Tipton?
Yes.
Mr. Herron?
Yes.
Mr. Bricky?
Yes.
Mr. Mann?
Yes.
Ms. Hood?
Yes.
And Ms. Eddie?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hopefully, I will not see you on May 3rd, because, you know.
Always good to see you, but hopefully it won't.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is Spearhead Trails, Mr. Steve Pike. Welcome to Scott County from Richmond. So
yes, sir.
Put you right to work when you got down here.
Absolutely. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Steve Pike, and I started back the last week of February as the interim director with Spearhead Trails. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to come by and introduce myself to you all. And I also would like to invite you all next Wednesday, April 12th, to our Thunderstruck property there at the High Knob. I'd like to take that opportunity for you all to come up and take a look at the trail system up there. We'll provide some lunch for you all, and that property, working with the landowner, has really turned out to be a great asset for horseback riding, hiking. As you all know, I'm sure you've been up there too. It's a great piece of property. One of the other things I wanted to mention to you, in the last week I found out that we are likely to receive some funding through a grant to help us create a strategic plan for Spearhead Trails. And we'd like to have the opportunity to speak with our stakeholders here in Scott County and the other counties in the authority to get your all's feedback, to kind of see where your thoughts are, and others here in the county with Spearhead Trails, and some ability to see that grow. We're also looking at some opportunities with some marketing opportunities through Virginia Tourism as well. So again, I hope your all schedule will afford you all to be able to come up April 12th, 11 o'clock.
Say what time?
Yes, 11 o'clock. And we'll spend some time up there showing you the property as well. So happy to be away from Richmond and down here in Scott County, and look forward to working with you all in the coming weeks.
It's 11 a.m. I've got 3 things that day, so hope somebody can go. I've been on phone with Doctor. We got a 4 o'clock meeting that day, so hopefully some of y'all can go to that. I would 3 other things that day.
Sure.
So anyway, so if you can go and be a part of that. If you've not been up there, just go look at it. It's beautiful, and what they've done up there, I mean, it's going to be a good deal for Scott County.
So where at this meeting will be at?
So we'll start the parking lot there at the top on High Knob there at the.
So Route 619 goes before Blackmore Mountain.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. Once you get up there, you'll see
Oh, I know, you're talking about close to the lookout.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
At the base of the hill.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
Next item is Kim Davis and Carrie Beck is here, Friends of Southwest Virginia. So, if you would.
Good morning. Good morning. Can I give, this is where I give my presentation. Can I give you these?
Okay.
Just right, the copy,
Oh, I'm sorry.
a copy of the presentation. You just give it to you.
Oh, the one on the other side.
Oh, other side. Sorry. I've been looking that way the whole time. Thank you. Thank you. I'll give you 2 things. Well, thank you all so much for the opportunity to come in front of you all today. It is very much an honor, and I'm really glad that Mr. Pike came from Spearhead Trails. I had the opportunity to meet with him, and I don't think he shared that he actually is building a house here in Scott County, and I think he's going to be a great leader for our region as well. So it's good to see him. I am Kim Davis, the Executive Director for Friends of Southwest Virginia, and we are the regional community development and destination marketing organization for the complete Southwest Virginia. I don't think our organization has come and talked to you all in a while, so I thought it'd be a good idea, and thank you to Frida, who, as we talked about it, to kind of give you a little bit of update on Friends of Southwest Virginia, or even what is Friends of Southwest Virginia, and also give you an update on Round the Mountain Artisan Trail, and then Carrie Beck, my colleague from the Crooked Road, is going to give you a couple updates on what's going on with the Crooked Road. So we'll get in here. This will be pretty brief. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of background around Friends, what makes up our region, our focus areas, and our futures. We're going to go through this pretty quickly. At any point, if you have any questions, just let me know. If you see this logo, this is the full regional brand that promotes all of Southwest Virginia. That includes the areas, that's the brand that we oversee at Friends of Southwest Virginia. We were founded in 2010, we're a nonprofit organization, and we really focus on the creative economy. And people are like, exactly what is the creative economy? It is taking our natural and heritage assets and turning them into economic development. So a lot of the projects I'm going to share with you that we're doing and we're looking at are all around the creative economy, taking our natural and our cultural assets and creating economic development. This is the full region of Southwest Virginia that our organization covers. We go all the way from Lee County, all the way almost up to Roanoke. We don't have Roanoke in our county, but we do have Franklin County right underneath. It's 19 counties, 4 cities, and a total of 53 towns. We really focus on downtown revitalization, crafts, artisan, and outdoor rec. We also, as we talked about, have the creative economy that we really focus on, and it's just an element of our agriculture, our manufacturing, our traditional industry, and our small business. We really focus on, I always say, pretty much 4 main areas. This will include community development, regional marketing. We also have the Heartwood Building, which is Southwest Virginia Cultural Center, and we also do Round the Mountain Artisans, and we work with Carrie for Crooked Road. Our community development efforts, we really look at those in like 3 different veins. One is actually where we look at how do we facilitate bringing groups together, talking together, and working together. We also look at doing infrastructure projects as well as planning projects. Some of our planning projects that we've recently done, we are working on a plan for Lee and Wise County. It's a boat launch on the Powell River, as well as potentially a pump track in Big Sun Gap. That's a bike and skate park. We are looking at doing a study. We finished a study in the Cumberland Plateau. We also finished a study on the Mount Rogers region. And last year we completed 2 studies with Virginia Cooper Trail. As you know, that's like one of the trails over in Washington County. And how does it sustain? We look at it's a great trail, but it's not, how do we sustain it? If you have to take down a trestle, how do you maintain a trail? Things like that. And then Medota Trail, of course, in the High Knob Master Plan. I will tell you that we do have a grant application in right now to do a planning grant for the Lenawisco region. We know we've done the High Knob area, we've looked at that a lot, but we really haven't looked down into Scott County and Lee counties as in depth for outdoor recreation. I think this is key, and I don't want to get this lost, because there is so much money right now in multi-state projects and things like that. So we need to really identify what we need in Scott County, what we need in Lee County, and obviously Wise. to really look at what we need and how we can connect with projects in Tennessee and Kentucky and really go after some major dollars. We also have the Cumberland Plateau study that we've released that we are excited about. It really talks a lot about what outdoor recreation is in that part of the region. We also are fiscal agents a lot of times for a lot of infrastructure projects. So we were the fiscal agent and the group that led the Damascus Trail Center project over in Damascus, the Devil's Bathtub project, the parking lot project, Inside Riverwalk, as well as the High Knob Destination Center that's ongoing, High Knob Lake, and these other ones that you can see up there. I will say that when we did the opening of the parking lot at the Devil's Bathtub in 2020, and we have been excited to see how that project has gone, as well as we're fiscal agent and kind of the person in charge of all the reporting for the High Knob Destination Center as well over in Norton, and that it's going up fast. That picture was taken Monday, I think, and it's going pretty well. I think that'll be a good draw. We also handle the regional marketing. We do work really well with Heart of Appalachia, who also does this area of the region as well. We do branding and marketing. We also do a program that partners can buy into, and they can do a lot of marketing for a lot less cost than if they went out and did it themselves. We also have a digital management system where you or anybody can have access to a lot of photography and videography of the region. And we also do a lot of community visits. This is the brand that we promote and that we try to get people to come with. This is the marketing access program we talked about, where a lot of communities will come and say, hey, we need videography, we need photography, we need a website, and we can do that for a lot less cost. So we work with a lot of different groups to do those things, as well as this is the digital management system that folks can get great photography of the region. So if you're looking to put together an economic development report or any type of strategy at all, you can do that. Our visitor-facing website is visit.swva.org, and we get visitors. This is kind of where a lot of visitors, when they're starting to plan their trip to Virginia, they'll see Visit Virginia, Virginia's for Lovers, then they'll come into the regional site, and then they'll really drive into which part of the region they want to go to. We also host the Southwest Virginia Tourism Awards last year in Wytheville. This was our first year, and we really honored a lot of work that was going on throughout the region. Finally, this is kind of where you can find us on our social channels, as well as we also run the Cultural Center, which is the Heartwood building all of you all know. This opened in 2011, and I'll tell you that since coming out of COVID, our visitation, we're up, and as of Monday, we opened back to 7 days a week. We haven't been able to, we were 6 days a week. We haven't been able to be 7 days because of staffing. We're finally there, so fingers crossed, everything's going good. But things at the Cultural Center are doing really well. I also want to give you a quick update on Around the Mountain. This is our Artisan Network, which began in 2005. We currently have brought around 189 members, and 158 of those, what we call our jury. That means they can sell their things at the building. We also have 4 members from Scott County that is in that. These are some of the work that they do, so if you're ever looking for a really unique regional gift, corporate gift or whatever, this is a good way. You can go onto our website, and we've got around 2,000 products on the site, and we can mail it to you. And we do a lot of artisan events to feature that. Kind of our future, we are right in the middle of doing a pretty extensive Southwest Virginia regional marketing campaign. This was funds that we received from the Tobacco Commission. So we'll be looking at key areas we want to promote throughout the region. We're also looking at several development projects. What's the future? Like, what do we need to be going for? And then of course this expansion around the mountain. You'll see in the guide I gave you is our annual report for all 3 organizations that gives you a little bit of update. And that is all I have. Any questions for friends before I turn it to Carrie?
What do you want?
I talked fast, sorry. So I wanted to be very mindful of your time. So.
Good job. Good presentation.
Thank you. And also thank you for your continued support of our organization.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
See if I can talk fast. I'm Carrie Beck. I'm the executive director of the Crooked Road. I've been there since 2020, right during the pandemic, so that was an interesting time for us. But we were able to kind of consolidate and run really frugally during 2020 and 2021. Last year, we did add one additional full-time staff member, so there's 2 of us. The Crooked Road covers the same region that Kim outlined in Friends of Southwest Virginia, so the 19 counties and the 4 cities and all the towns of Southwest Virginia. Our board leadership is from all over the region. Dylan Locke is our president right now, Leah, and then we have Leah Ross, with Birthplace of Country Music out of Bristol. We've got members from all over the region of our board of directors. So counties have a place on our board and have representation on our board, and we're thankful that John is our representative. He's very active with us. I wanted to highlight this slide briefly. In 2020, we did undergo a strategic planning process during that downtime, and I want to just highlight that on that mission statement, everything that we do is trying to serve various constituencies, but ultimately we're an organization that's supposed to affect economic development positively for our region. As Kim mentioned, the creative economy is really strong. The Crooked Road was one of the leading tourism initiatives for the region to fill the gaps where maybe traditional industry was waning or changing. So we are here to serve various constituencies, including our counties and our cities, our potential tourists, our musicians, and our venues. Scott County obviously is home to the Carter Family Fold, which is one of our major venues, a true jewel along the Crooked Road. As far as the mission goes, we recently had an organizational planning session with our board. We want to be a really proactive organization to make sure that we are servicing all those constituencies accurately. So this year and going forward, we're looking at doing a new strategic plan and going through a strategic planning process. We are also going to be looking at an economic impact assessment during 2024, and then we're also undergoing a website redesign. We have submitted the RFP for that. So we want to make sure that outwardly facing the Crooked Road has the best image for that potential tourist as well. So we are being proactive in the management of the organization. So some marketing and projects that I wanted to highlight today. We've got this quarterly magazine that we started last July. So traditionally the Crooked Road had one visitor guide that maybe served over multiple years, but that wasn't really servicing our venues, our communities well, because everyone is adding more festivals, venues are constantly adding events. So we wanted to make sure that the potential tourist had a current guide of events that were happening. This way, all the heritage festivals that happen or new festivals that communities are bringing on board don't get lost in the shuffle. Our major venues and affiliate venues are highlighted in all of our marketing materials, so they're in there constantly. But this magazine is printed on a quarterly basis and then mailed out to our visitor centers. We also have a trifold brochure that goes into the visitor centers along the highway, so we're trying to catch them, potential visitors at any intersection here. Also, we've started this month, we started a This Week on the Crooked Road music trail. This is for Facebook. So every week we'll highlight about three entities. This week we do have the Empty Bottle String Band and the Carter Fold on there, which we link back to venues and to communities. So again, that's another way that we can be really responsive on a weekly basis. We're also starting a new Fiddlers Convention that will be held at the Breaks. That's going to be in October, so it's kind of the capstone at the end of the Fiddlers Convention year, but that's kind of breaking news. No one has seen this logo yet, so y'all are the first ones to do that. We do also work on traditional music. We're looking at that next generation, and as you saw earlier in this presentation, it's so important to really integrate the youth on whatever level they're interested in. We want them to stay here. So we are hosting a youth music festival next month. Last year we reformatted it to make it into a competition so that we could give away money, and we did. We gave $1,100 in cash away. I want the youth to know that they can get paid for their craft, even if they end up working a 9-to-5 or a more traditional job and then just playing music on the side. If that is something they're interested in, I want to encourage that. And we partner with Junior Appalachian musicians for that. We're also working on doing 2 Junior Appalachian musician showcases at the end of the year, which will help them, their school programs be featured and also help with their recruitment as well throughout the region. We do present heritage music both inside and outside the region. We have a Crooked Road on Tour program that takes musicians from the area and sends them out to venues and state fairs. We do the State Fair of Virginia on a consistent basis. We also last year did a music and dance spectacular show, which highlighted old time and bluegrass and all of our traditional dance as well. So this is a show that can be taken to bigger performing arts centers. And then also, I would love to do a tour to Ireland, or if any of y'all want to come along, get your passports. No, but I would love to do a West Coast tour or an international tour, because we do see international visitors coming to our region. That could be in the future, maybe part of the new strategic plan. We also present at Rhythm and Roots. So, you know, that festival, the scope has gotten so large, we wanted to have a heritage music presence of our musicians here. So we're focusing on women-fronted bands this year. And then we've also this year started a third Thursday cultural series at the Cultural Center. So this is traditional dance. We have square dance. We're doing tunes of the Carter family this month. And then we also have some more dance, like contra dance. We're gonna have jack tales, so storytelling and ballad singing as well. Just alternate forms of our heritage. So we've also got other projects. The Artist in Residence program, we're going into the 3rd annual Artist in Residence. Any musician from the region can apply for that. They get $500 a month stipend to be a Crooked Road ambassador and produce a special piece of music or a video for the Crooked Road to help promote the region. This is just direct support for our musicians. We also started a signature art program that we RFP throughout the region as well. So this is the mandolin was our first signature artist this year. We also have a Heritage Music Fund, and this is available to any band or performer in the region. They can apply for up to $500 for professional projects. Again, we want them to record here, we want them to stay here. I do not want these people to move outside the region. A highlight coming up is next year is the Crooked Road's 20th anniversary. I know a lot of y'all, being from this region, have probably seen the Crooked Road progress from early stages to what it is now. We should be very proud that this organization has 19 years under its belt, but next year we'll have 20. This is a milestone year. It's going to provide a banner for tourism for all of the communities. We're working on a special logo. I'm hoping to unveil that around July 1st. So that logo will be given to the communities to use in their promotion. Also, I envision window clings and signages so the businesses can be engaged as well. We're also looking at a songwriting contest for this year, so we would have a new song for next year, and educational events and exhibits, as well as concert series and partner events. That would be signature events at all the major venues, and then looking at the communities, the counties, and the cities and saying, okay, what's a signature event that you want to have? How can the Crooked Road come alongside you as well? So that's all I have. I do want to say that we engage with the DMOs. Every 6 to 8 weeks, I have a call for all the tourism partners, and so they will be heavily engaged as we move forward in the 20th anniversary as well. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Anyone, any comments or questions?
It's a great presentation.
Thank y'all so much for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, a good presentation, and so enjoyed it very much. Good information. Anything here from anyone before we move on? All right, thank you all again. Next item is item 11. Ms. Dockery is here, Commissioner of Revenue. So, Ms. Debbie, if you'll come, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm Debbie Dockery, Commissioner of the Revenue, and I'm here today to ask for an increase in the discount for the elderly and disabled. Currently, our discount is $200, and then the qualifications are your total household income cannot be more than $35,000. Total assets cannot be more than $95,000, which does not include a home. And then, of course, you must reside in the residence. I'm asking today, excuse me, to have that discount increased from $200 to $250. The total household income from $35,000 to $40,000, and the total assets from $95,000 to $100,000. I normally have been coming every 3 to 4 years to have that increase, and normally we do it in increments of $25. But with the increase in property taxes, the cost of living, groceries, everything has increased so much that I feel like, a $50 increase would be good. This really does help a lot of people out. Right now, we have a total of 604 people who get the discount. Of those, 555 are real estate, and then 49 are mobile homes that are people's primary residence. 497 get the full $200 discount, and then the rest of those they get less than a $200 discount.
So how many on the 250, the full?
497 out of the 604 get the full $200 discount. If we done an increase of $50, right now it would amount to $24,850. And of course, with that increase, you know, we would have a few more people that would qualify if we, you know, raise the income limit. I just feel like I said, with the increase and everything, I know people are struggling right now to make it. And I have to say that these people that get the discount, they are usually the first ones that come in and pay their taxes. And if everybody was like that, we wouldn't have any worries here in the county about delinquent taxes, so.
65, the elderly. 65.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that. Yes, the qualifications are 65 years old for the elderly, and then permanent Social Security disability recipients qualify also.
All right. Well, we said the cost increase would be, it would go to $24,850 to the total cost of the county.
It would be the total increase at the current number of
That's
recipients.
the cost or the increase?
That would be the increase to the county.
I don't know what it is now. Do you know what it is now by chance?
The real estate right now, 555 real estate is $119,427.23. 49 mobile homes at $2,101.72.
You're talking about roughly $144,000 is the total cost of the county, somewhere there about.
Yes.
So go, all right. And I know to instruct folks, you know, that's the elderly people to do that on fixed income, Social Security, and so on, and I get that. Any comments here from you folks? Forward.
Well, I totally agree. I think, you know, with the inflation factor, what you're talking about, and with what all that we've been through, as you've already stated, I know it's very difficult for these people to even make it. I like to point the fact that, hey, those are the first ones to get out and pay their taxes. So.
And they are so grateful, you know, I know, you know, $200 doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, and it actually insults a lot of people when they call and they want to know what our discount is, and they're like, is that all? But for those that get it, who really appreciate it, it's a whole lot.
It is.
So.
You said 4 years ago we did this?
It was 3 or 4 years ago.
It might give more recent time goes by quick.
It does.
All right. Any other comments or questions here from on the board? And I think we can do this. I mean, I think we should, and so it'll help the folks out there that need the worst is what we're doing, I think, so.
Good job, Debbie, for bringing this up to us. I appreciate it.
Thank you all. I appreciate all of you.
All right, any comments or questions? Not, we entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Public hearing, that's correct, thank you. So we have to advertise a public hearing to do this, and would be the next meeting? Okay. Authorize Sally to do that, we vote to do that, correct?
Yeah, because it's a change by ordinance.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we authorize Ms. Kegley to advertise for a public hearing to increase the elderly and disabled.
You want to go through the numbers?
No, I'm not going to read the numbers.
I couldn't do that. I'm just jerking a chain. I couldn't do that. I got some numbers down here, but I promise you.
Go through the
Well, you got me all.
I'm sorry.
I was on a roll there for
You
a
were.
minute.
Yeah.
To authorize Ms. Kegley to advertise for a public hearing to increase the disabled and elderly tax.
From 200 to 250.
Yes, from 200 to 250.
All right, you made a motion, correct?
Yes.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Ms. Hood second, all right, good. Ms. Hood second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So we get that done and,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Next item is Mosley Architect Phase 2 and Phase 3.
I believe it's on your tablet. So Phase 2 and Phase 3 of our project scope of work with Mosley Architects is amendment number 3 to their contract, and it's for schematic design for the 179 West Jackson Street property and the existing courthouse. The total amount for both phases would be $107,137, and I need authorization to enter into an agreement with Mosley for those services and to pay for that out of the ARPA funding.
Okay. We need a motion to authorize Ms. Starnes to proceed with this, and it would come out of the ARPA fund, so you have it, the amount. Do we have a motion to do so?
So moved, Mr.
All right, Mr. Bricky made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So, Ms. Starnes, you got your work cut out for you. Next item is the DACD Upper Cliff Mountain Phase 2 documents, and I think most of us know what that is, but if you would, Ms. Starnes, if you want to.
Those are documents that are on your tablet as well. These are just contract agreements with DHCD to get the Upper Cliff Mountain Phase 2 project started. So just need authorization to sign. If you want to do all Cliff Mountain Phase 2 documents, we can do it that way.
Okay. Against authorize Ms. Starnes to sign those necessary documents, and so without further discussion, I think we know what this is, but we need a motion to it.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is to ratify the Public Service Authority PSA letter of support, and Ms. Starnes again, if you would.
This is on your tablet as well. I received verbal authorization to go ahead and do the Public Service Authority letter of support. It was needed for a grant application for the Central Water Project earlier in the month with a deadline before today. So we just need to ratify that letter of support.
Okay. Need a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the Fraley Road Bridge. If you would, Ms. Starnes, I'll move if you would.
You have a letter on your tablet. Mr. Sumter with VDOT has requested that you consider approval for a VDOT waiver, that the VDOT engineer can request a waiver to keep the Fraley Town Road Bridge as a one-lane bridge instead of a two-lane, which would delay the project, and we would have to do some, VDOT would have to have additional right-of-way for that bridge. So if we do a request for them to leave that as a one-lane bridge, the project is on the 2026 timeline. So that letter is just there for your consideration.
All right, hope you had a chance to look at that. If so, we would need to approve this to allow this to be reconstructed as a one-lane bridge. Do we have a motion to do that?
I'll make the motion, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, Ms. Hood made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Our next item is Ms. Vickers, if you would, bookkeeping.
Please appropriate $940 to Circuit Court Clerk's Technology Trust Fund, Capital Outlay Office Equipment 29-21655-8102 for monies received and deposited at the Treasurer's Office. Appropriate $1,435.98 to Circuit Court Clerk's Travel Training, 21600-5540 for reimbursements received. Appropriate $910 to Sheriff's Office Repair and Maintenance of Vehicles, 3120-6009 for an insurance claim received. And appropriate $372 to Registrar's Postage, 13200-5210 for a reimbursement received. And that's all the appropriations.
Can I need a motion to approve the appropriation as described by Mr. Rickman? Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Addington made a second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Please transfer $7,258 from E911 Central Dispatch Contracted Maintenance, 31400-3320 to Repairs and Maintenance Supplies, 31400-6007, and transfer $600 from Commissioner Revenue's Online Real Estate Records, 12310-5290, with $400 going to Office Supplies, 12310-6001, and $200 to Postage, 12310-5210, and that's all the transfers.
What's the transfer? What was that transfer? What that cover?
The 911.
Yes.
They're having flooring replaced.
Is that the flooring? Okay. I thought it was. I just want to make sure.
And then the commissioner, she was saying just because of the cost of supplies, she needed more in her office supplies and then in postage from mailings.
All right, do you have a motion to make the transfers as described? Do we have a motion?
Now I'll make a motion.
Mr. Chairman made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And please accept Tourism's Virginia Tourism Corporation Recovery ARPA grant, and if accepted, please establish the following expense code, 72600-5637.
We have a motion on the grant and to create that code, expense code. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, Ms. Atkins made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tipton, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next item is County Attorney Item, Ms. Kegley.
I don't have anything today.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item is the County Administrator items. We'll do claims first. I guess Ms. Starnes.
Okay, you should have the green sheet in your folder. Treasurer's Accountability Report, the current amount in the general fund is $12,435,124.47. If you look at your comparison chart, we are quite a bit above where we have been in the past. The school system still has a little over $5 million to pull down. So if you take that out, we're pretty much in line with where we were at this time last year. As far as your claims, in the early sets, they total $220,856.26. Some of those are, of course, normal AEP bills. We had a Calvin's Body Shop repair for the Sheriff's Office, Duffield Fire and Rescue, and Nicholsville Rescue, 2 payroll supports. Waste Management was $42,793.59 for the March invoice, and Vacor was $42,097.75. As far as current claims, the total is $1,173,405.40. Some of those larger ones is the regional jail. This is our 4th quarter payment, so this will be the last one this fiscal year. That totaled $723,569.97. Zetron was $133,500. That was for tower work for the new digital radio system. That's 15% of the contract execution and design review. Appalachian Juvenile Commission for the quarter was $62,527. Lonesome Pine Regional Library for the quarter, $50,762.50. And the Health Department, 4th quarter, $63,773.75. So total claims that need approved today is $1,394,261.66.
Anybody have any comments or questions about the claims that we need to approve? Anyone?
I'll make the motion that we pay the bills.
Right. Ms. Hackett made a motion to pay the bills. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
You also have a yellow sheet in your folder with miscellaneous items. The first one on the Ford Explorer purchase, we did seal bids for those. Fairway Ford was the low bidder at a cost of $45,200. That would be paid for, if approved, from Local Emergency Management Planning Grant, $13,810, and Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, $31,390.
And who's that going to be used by?
That would be used by the county administrator.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Not, we will entertain a motion to approve this proposal. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Bricky made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Herron, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I'm requesting to set up a fund for the animal control donations. That would be fund number 10. And also some new GL codes. That would be 49-11010-8102, Fund 49, Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, Capital Outlay, and 3-1089990-0001, Fund 10, Animal Control Fund donations.
So we need to approve these new codes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we need a motion to approve these new codes as described by Ms. Starnes. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Mr. Herron made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Tippin, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, we need to discuss authorization to negotiate a rental agreement for temporary office space for the Scott Service Program. I'm just asking for authorization to negotiate right now for that space, and then at the May meeting, if we can come to terms, we would have a rental agreement for you to consider at that time.
I need a motion to authorize Ms. Starnes to negotiate this. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Tippin made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And then one additional thing, as you know, our loader at the transfer station is going to have some major repairs. We have been able to locate a loader with glass machinery that they're willing to rent to us. That is at a cost of $5,500 per month. They will deliver it, and they will also change out the tires to put our tires on the loader where it would be usable for a transfer station. And I'm requesting that you approve that agreement. Ms. Kegley has reviewed the agreement, and I ask that you let us use that $5,500 from your contingency fund.
What happened, the transmission, I think, went out on the one we have, and it's about 15 years old, but anyway, it had transmission issues, and I talked to Bill, he's trying to find one, and so.
Yeah, we've finally found a loader that has the same size, has the same kind of IT hookup that we can hook our bucket and packer to. The solid tires were hard to find, but what we're doing, the glass is willing to bring theirs up and switch out the tires. So we'll be using our tires on their loader until we get our fix. I did get word from Stallard Caterpillar yesterday, their estimate that it's gonna be at least a month on our loader. So this may be a 2-month rental, and that's, hopefully we can get it back within a month, but the way things go with the availability of parts, I would count on 2.
All righty. So gotta have one at the transfer station. It's just something we have to have. We'll talk about funding next month, I guess, if we go past the month and do that. But this would come from our contingency fund. We okay in our contingency fund, Ms. Norris?
Yes, you have about 34,000.
How many hours is on that loader?
9,000. We haven't had any trouble with it. It's been a really good machine. 9,000 hours. Bought it in 2009. So, and it's, you use 6 days a week. And most of the time it's back and forth in the first 2 gears. So it's a lot of wire on those gears. But we may look at trying to find another used machine as a backup, so it's not so hard to find one that fits the specs to replace it when we need to work on one.
All right. We need a motion to approve this to come out of contingency funds, or $5,500, and then we'll deal with it again next month if needed. So we need a motion to approve this.
So, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Mr. Tipton made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Bricky, second. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Folks here, let them speak in a moment about the High Mountain Music Festival. So as soon as he gets to do, y'all can come up. So, and it's my fault you didn't get up here earlier. So anyway, we'll get you in a few minutes. All right.
No problem. We have nothing else to do.
Okay. All right. Y'all must be retired like me. All right, Mike, if you would.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Having a little voice difficulty this morning, so bear with me. It's good to be here, and I want to welcome Mr. Ricky to the PSA board.
Thank you. Look forward.
As you know, last month, yeah, we had a good time together. And thinking about Darrell this morning, Mr. Jeter. Glad he's okay. So, things I've a little more optimistic report than I've had the past few times. Things have broken loose with materials and permits and such, and we have a lot going on. We have $60 million in projects funded, water and sewer projects funded. So there's a lot to do. And there's a lot being done. So Daniel Boone Sewer is first on your list, and that highlights the problem with easements that I have talked with you before. And I think the PSA's message is that we offer a tremendous service, safe drinking water, safe sewage disposal, economic development, and 95% of the people that we work with are very cooperative in giving us easements. But unfortunately, there have been a few occasions where a single property owner has held up this excellent, very much needed public service of water and wastewater for several other residents. And I think it's time for the PSA to look into being bolder on obtaining these few easements. And so we are exploring what we can do. And we'll be doing that in the next month or two. Robinette Valley, you've asked me about, and we're all very much interested in, should be in service by July. And Hunters Valley West should be in service this month.
This month?
This month.
Yeah, I drove through there yesterday, and it's, or Monday, I guess it was. I seen where all that's been done. I'm surprised how much they've moved since last time I went through that.
Their
The
crew
100,000 West, I
did
know.
that. The
Yeah.
crew did a great job. They're waiting on the road bore, creek bore, actually under the Big Stone to actually connect the water so it can have a water supply. And they've indicated that that contractor is going to do that this month. So it all hinges on that. So
Can you
we're-
let us
so
know
we're
when that
done.
occurs? Can you send us out an email and let us know when that,
When those,
when the Stony Creek?
Hunters Valley.
Yeah, Hunters Valley.
I can.
Let me know when that
Yeah.
gets tied and
Yeah.
tied in and then turned
Yeah.
on would be great.
Yeah.
I have a lot of folks curious about that.
And we'll send out a notice to the customers when it's time for them to do their paperwork. And get their PSA account set up.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they're
And,
looking forward to that. I've had a
yes.
lot of calls about that one.
Yes. Well, yes, I know.
Good.
So, I won't read all these to you, but just highlight the big stuff like that. And I'll answer any of your questions. We did get additional funding for our Phase 2 improvements to the Duffield wastewater plant. I guess the biggest news is that we got an ARPA grant of $12 million to help us close the gap in the budget for the Yuma Hilton sewer. Got that from DEQ last month. So we will be able to proceed. But there are still easement issues, like I've said, we need to address. Our crew will be starting on the multi-community extension, number 2, underfunded. That's the Phelan Hollow. They will be starting on that. That's a DHCD funded part of that project. And then they will be working on that on the weekends and then working on Weber City number 5 during the week. And then we will move on to the next project. We also got a project funded in Tennessee. That's the one that just got ARPA grant funded. Small water line extension, and that's their only source of water would be us. It helps the PSA tremendously by eliminating a dead end line at the state line on Yuma Road. Of course, obviously it helps those 50 homes safe drinking water where they're drinking water like Hunters Valley's got. So will be a good source of revenue, and it's the best project I have seen in years. About $9,000 a house. It's just unheard of when we're spending over $50,000 a home on most other projects to extend water. But several projects funded. Like I said, $60 million funded projects right now, and we're seeking more funds. We appreciate you did approve that letter of support, I guess, for Central Scott 2A. We appreciate that. We're very optimistic that we will get that funding. It's scaled back from the whole project, but the engineers were able to scale it back such a way that many of the homes were served, and we still can put in our pump stations and tanks up there on the ridge. Still working on the Phase 2B for the Midway and Twin Springs area, trying to get funding for those, and then the others. But it's exciting to see what's going on, and our folks are working hard from the office to the crew to plants and our engineers to make these projects a reality.
You did say Hilton's and Yuma sewer grant was approved?
We did get that DEQ ARPA grant for about $12 million.
Yeah, that's additional to what it.
We had to have that, and there again, it was the inability to get it was the failure of the property owners to give us easements in a timely manner that delayed the project. And then it got caught up in the inflation, and then also we were $12 million short. That's how much materials and contractor prices went up over that 2 or 3 year period. Now we're just keeping our fingers crossed that the contractor bids come in under budget.
And I want to say down there, after, going across the road, it was pretty rough and a lot of complaints down through there. Who did the final paving though? Was that?
Well, Thomas was the contractor, and they did it.
They did
I
a
don't
job.
think they subbed it out, but I think they did it. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah.
It was rough for a while though.
Yeah, yes.
I keep getting questions about the phase 2 of the Fairview project. I think there are 2 or 3 houses on Fairview and then 7 houses on Beach Grove.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the funding on that. It's very expensive due to the length of line and the low number of homes.
Yeah, I was asked about it yesterday, so any information you have on it, if you just send me an email, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments for Mr. Dishman? Good report. Good news.
Okay, if you ever have any questions or concerns, let me know. I'll try to address them.
All right.
Thank you.
Some folks here from the High Knob Music Festival, and they thought they were on the agenda, and so my thought, I'm not getting y'all to go out your speak now. If you want to come on and do your presentation, you may do so.
Good morning, and thank you so much for allowing us to go ahead and speak with you. I did place a handout in front of you, so it'll tell you everything that I'm going to tell you anyway. I'll try to be brief. My name is Buddy Delp. I'm from Big Stone Gap, Virginia. This is Jane Branham, Big Stone Gap / Norton. She's just on the line there. I guess it's technically Norton.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, okay. At any rate, we started the High Knob Festival. Jane and I, actually, we didn't plan this.
We were going to practice music one day. We decided to go up to High Knob Recreation Area to see if we could gather a little bit of, interest in some music, because that place was slated. It was slated to close, and I knew that. And I was like, we can't let this happen. So that's where it was born.
Yeah, so that was in 2014. And so that was the same year that we dedicated the High Knob Tower. Some of you may have been there for that dedication. I don't know.
Yeah, the county actually put some money in that tower when they rebuilding it. So
yeah,
we did over a 2-year period, like $7,500 for 2 years, $50,000 total. What the county put in back then. So that was years ago, but to rebuild that.
And we talked to what was it, Mr. Herschel at the time, that was the Forest Service person. Yeah, and we talked about the festival to him that day, and we'd like to do something to save that place.
So we started the idea of this festival in 2014, and 2015, the festival idea, we didn't really even have a name yet. We were calling it High Knob Music Festival, but just because that's where it was. But so we decided with the town of Norton and Wise County to combine this idea for the festival with the 75th anniversary of the High Knob Recreation Area opening up.
Right.
And so in 2016, we formed a group of people. I think we have 11 people in our group now, our committee that does this. And it's totally grassroots. We raise money by fundraising. We sell food at events, and we're very thankful that Scott County has been so good. You all helped us build that huge, beautiful stage up there. I'm not sure if any of you have been up there and have looked at it or not.
Yeah, I went to the festival a couple of times. It's great.
It's incredible. It's a stage that rivals anywhere in any town that you go to, and you all helped build that by donating money to us. Plus, over the years, you have given us money to actually put the festival on. We've been doing this 10 years now. Jane and I have. First couple of years, there wasn't really anybody else much in on it. But we've had, this will be our 9th festival, actually. We did not have the festival in 2020 because of COVID. And, but at any rate, we're here basically to see if you all would help us with the festival this year. I think I'm the treasurer for the High Note Music Festival, and I think we got about $70,000 in the bank right now. And it's going to cost us in the neighborhood of $11,000 to $12,000 to put the festival on June the 17th of this year, which is just a little bit more than 2 months away. So we're going to put it on. We have addressed the Wise County Board of Supervisors. We've addressed the town of Big Stone Gap Town Council. We're scheduled to go before the Norton City Town Council on the 18th of this month. And so we're confident that we'll reach our goal and get the funding that we have to have. Plus, we're fundraising. We're planning to sell food, partner with one of the barbecue people in Norton. But we're working hard at this all the time, and we do need help with the finances.
Plus the Fox House. We have a Fox House event as a fundraiser on the 27th of this month.
So we're working really hard. For a one-day festival, we work all year to raise the money to do this.
To make it free.
The festival is a family-friendly, no drugs or alcohol, free music festival. And we're unique in that we not only allow people to bring food in a cooler, and if they have kids to the festival, we encourage them to bring their kids and a cooler with sandwiches and drinks and so forth, not alcoholic drinks, but that's because we want people to have a completely free festival in this region. We also try to collect food for the food bank at the festival. We ask people to bring a can of food or something, and we get that and take it back to the food bank. So we're working really hard to make this a family-friendly, free festival in every aspect. We did have requests after the first year that we had the festival. It was a non-commercial festival. We really couldn't sell anything. We didn't have the permit to do that. And but what we kept hearing from people is, why don't you have any food? You know, we'd like to buy something, hot dogs or whatever. So we do that now. So we fundraise at our own festival as well as Blue Highway Festival in Big Stone Gap. And we're going to be vending at the 4th of July Festival this year. Those things will be after this year, our festival.
I just wanted to mention some of our future goals to improve that place because, you know, we built the stage, but our next project in the Forest Service is on board too. We wanted to build a handicap observation deck near the stage for wheelchair access because people were loving it. So the Forest Service says, why stop there? Let's make a wheelchair access all the way to the lake. We're like, great. So it would be like monumental to think, for me, of the first and only handicap access recreation area in the whole area. I think it's big. And so I think, you know, there's a lot of grants out there, and I feel sure that we can find some money to help with that, but it's just continuing to have the music festival every year. We need support from the region to keep on making it free and available.
Well, it's close to Scott County. We almost have adopted you also.
Oh, yeah.
It's right on the line that you got Wise County.
We didn't plan these shirts this morning. I picked him up, I was like, oh my goodness.
Very appropriate.
What Jane is referring to is covered on paragraph 4 there about the, no, actually, paragraph 5 about the engineering work. We have an engineer who's volunteered his service to help draw up the plans for the observation deck overlooking the stage, as well as the handicapped accessible pathway, which there at High Knob Recreation Area has to go down and do several switchbacks to keep the grade necessary for ADA compliance. And it won't be much farther than the length of this room, but it has to go, round and around. And the Forest Service did ask us to do a presentation of them about the whole project. Our project originally was just for the handicapped accessible observation deck, and that was going to be a pretty good project just for us, but they wanted it in a package, and so it's the engineers are working on that now. We've raised $1,500 for the handicapped project that we're speaking of now, and if y'all can help us sometime with that, we would appreciate it. We don't have the engineering drawings and have everything approved through the Forest Service yet, so but we're already working on that, and we have, I think, raised $1,500 toward that. I've got it estimated on paper here. I put down a rough estimate of $30,000. I think that's way low, but I don't know what the number is, so I didn't want to put something in there that's outrageous.
Okay.
But at any rate, what else were we going to cover? Just we also did the electrical system in 2020 when everything was locked down. Is when we put a brand new electrical system in. Wise County Board of Supervisors paid for that. It was $4,100 and almost $4,200, and they paid for that entire project. You all helped with the stage. Big Stone Gap helped with the stage, and we raised money for the stage. But we spent, I think, $12,000 in 2020. Our budget for the festival that we couldn't have, we spent that money plus whatever we could raise to do all the improvements up there. And it is beautiful. If you know anyone wants to get married or have a family picnic or something, that is a gorgeous place to do that.
And by the way, we also do the mowing and everything like that. We've been trying to keep.
I said the Forest Service appreciates that because they're lacking on manpower.
They don't have personnel, and they've had a hard time too, and I know everyone has. But at any rate, we would appreciate your consideration for our request. I don't really want to throw out a number because I know all the boards are kind of confined with their expenditures now.
And you've got a lot of potholes to fix.
Yeah. Y'all heard that, didn't you? I educated here today. From school kids to potholes. So.
I just wanted to thank y'all for your services, your support in the past.
Right.
I don't know what we'd do without the support of the community.
Well, what we did in the past, I think last time was $1,000, and that's what we did. And so I don't know what the board here might want to do. If they want to do it through the budget process or take something from our contingency fund, I don't know. We'll talk about here in a second when y'all get through.
That would really help us.
That's what we did the last time. I'm not saying that's just the number we did the last time, if my memory serves me correct.
It was.
Yeah, so.
It was.
But we'll see what happens here when we put it to.
Is there any other questions or information that you all would like?
Anyone have any questions or comments? The last festival, we actually parked at High Chaparral, rode bicycles out there, my two brothers and I. So we rode out, and then we thought we'd get in free. We had to pay $10 to get in anyway, so we couldn't sneak in free. But anyway, it was a good festival, and we enjoyed the heck out of it.
And we got shuttle buses running all day long.
Bicycle's the best way to get there.
It is. And y'all come.
Hey, electric bicycle, let me correct
It's June 17th.
Electric bicycle.
Electric bicycle, I'm
Well, thank you all so much for being so courteous to us, and we apologize for showing up. And
that's all right. My fault. I talked to Noah. He talked to me Sunday, and I was assuming you to hear his expression. I should look at your shirt. I did not know who you were, but
yeah,
we got you in.
Thank you all so much. Y'all
thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from you all or anything y'all want to do that help the folks with that festival? Now, they are close enough to Scott County. Like I said, the county did put money into the tower up there back when it burned, and it's been several years ago. It's when I first come on the board when that was happening. Actually, the previous board voted to do it. So it was over 2 years, $15,000 over 2 years, and then we gave money to the festival too, with the building of the stage and everything. So you're all scholarship what you might want to do, anyone. We can take our
Whatever you want to
contingency
do.
fund, we got, well, 29,000 now, I guess, in our contingency fund, we take the 5,000 now. So, I mean, we're okay there if we do anything.
I'm okay with it. We did, you know, was it this last budget we did it, or was it the one before?
One before, I don't think we did anything last year. I don't think y'all came last year. I don't believe you did.
No, we did not.
So, do you want to do $1,000 from our contingency fund?
I'm okay with it. You know, I'll make it in the form of a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Tipton made a motion, Mr. Bricky second. Any other discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That'll help you some. All right.
Do you want
Thank you
that,
so much.
You're
do
welcome.
you want that
information
check
is-
made to the address
Yes,
that's
my
on there?
information is down almost at the bottom of your page.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, my address is on there, Buddy Dale, 2603 4th Avenue, Big Stop.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank y'all for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have anything for closed session, do we? Ms. Norman, Ms. Edwin? Nothing for closed session. Anybody have anything for closed session? All right, next meeting is May, what, 3rd? Oh, thank you. Any comments?
First, I want to do a shout out for M&M. It's there in Weber City. They actually live in Hilton's, and that's Fabio and Mavis. I went in there, and it's really fabulous as to what they're doing. They do upholstery, it can be automobiles, it can be furniture, and things of that nature. And they're specialists in this, and I was just intrigued by an automobile that was sitting in there, and he said, "That's not mine." It was really nice. It's really super nice. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time. I would like for y'all to give consideration. We're trying to refurbish the Veterans Memorial, and so we are also in the fundraising process. I'm the commander of the American Legion Post, and we've had our meeting, and so it was determined we would need around $10,000 to do this project. Our veterans do a great deal, for the community. They give back. We do fundraisers, and we give back to the community for youth, Boy Scouts, baseball teams, and things of that nature. And so we're looking at potential donors. We're looking at a variety of avenues to help, and I think the county's probably helped with the honor guard. I think one time before, I think Frank Taylor maybe came down and did a presentation, and so he's part of our group, as well. So if you can work that into your budget process, you don't have to decide anything like that today. So if that can be taken up maybe in the budget process as to what maybe that you could do. If I'm not mistaken, that property belongs to the county.
That's on it,
Yeah.
over the county.
So,
Over the tank is over there on Veterans.
So we're wanting to try to do something that's nice. Those wheels are really rusted on it. It's going to take a great deal of sandblasting, and for somebody to come on site and to do that, it's going to be costly. Or if you take the wheels off, if you replace the wheels, they're like $700 a piece, and there's 6 on each side. So we're trying to hash out, which is, actually the best avenue to go. And of course, that's a pretty ancient tank. But we want to do something that it will look nice for not just next year or the year after, but, in years to come. And appreciation for all of our veterans, that have served and are currently serving. Lastly, I would just like to say that we didn't, this is a great board. I enjoy serving with you. I want to thank the staff for what they do, and the board for what they do. I think it's really unprecedented as far as any board that I can think of, with what we have gone through and our citizens, but our board as to what we've had to juggle around. We didn't ask for the real estate market boom. We didn't ask for the increase on personal property on vehicle, automobiles. We didn't ask for the COVID-19, we didn't ask for the 2 equalization boards. There's a lot of things we didn't ask for, but it was on our plate. And it's all of us here that made this happen. And as you know, we felt like we needed to do something in terms of helping our citizens, and we did some people don't realize this, but we did a decrease, from the 80 cents per 100 on the real estate, we went to 77 cents. My understanding is, 3 weeks ago, correct me if I'm wrong, Frida, that the increase that was on the automobiles for last year, then it will not be in the 24 budget. Is that correct? The increase.
The values have dropped. I don't know. They're
Don't
not
know.
back to the original value.
Right, but have dropped.
But that'll be $550,000 tax dollars that won't be in next year's budget.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll have to remember that figure. Okay. So that's important. So that's giving something back to the citizens. And just pray for us as we try to juggle when we get through this. I mean, it's been a trying time, what we have went through and what we are going through. And all of you, myself included, and you out there, we love Scott County. And it was just a great meeting today with all the presentations that we have. Just seeing things coming back to some sort of normal. And I think that's great. And I think that's all I really have.
Mr. Herron.
Appreciate what everybody does. Appreciate the kids from Twin Springs coming down. They did a great job. Hopefully that'll be the beginning of something that they can grow on. The other schools might be able to learn from that. But the road situation, I know that's usually all I talk about. But I'm thankful for the people who do come. Sometimes some of them call me and they apologize, and I say, do not apologize. It's your right to do that, but it's that's what gets things done. Is she was talking about the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so there's a lot of truth to that. But I did mention something about sending another letter. The gentleman talked about it, I can't remember his name, but, and maybe inviting them down here again. We've done that before. I think we've sent 2 or 3 letters, but it wouldn't hurt to send another one. Do I need to put that in a motion? So I'd like to make the motion that we send another letter inviting. I think we need to send it to Terry Kilgore again, Todd P. and the governor. And there's been some question about our senators, about this, the money, and Mike explained that maybe a little bit. But evidently they were telling the citizens that this money was going to come to them, and that was a direct lie. If that's so, and
well, it's good if you're a politician. That's great.
It does, yeah. But could we include those two too and have an explanation of what that money is going to be?
I don't have that letter. If somebody can send it to me. Are you talking about the letter you were talking about at Lena Whiskey?
Dwayne Miller would have it, yes.
I don't have
He
that
was the one
letter.
who brought that.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably did.
maybe we can work on that.
Because I get everything from the senators.
Okay. Could we just send them just from us? and
Explain what the problem is.
Yeah, and have them explain maybe.
All right. We put that form of motion.
I put that form of
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Give a second. All in favor, vote saying aye.
But,
Sorry.
I appreciate what everybody does. Again, VDOT situations, I've had some calls about the low water bridges. We was actually talking about that the other day at one of our meetings, and I did get in contact with them. There is hundreds of tons of gravel that is washing up against those bridges, and those things are acting like a dam. And of course, it's clogging up. There's the one on Ponderosa Road was the one I got the call about. I did get in contact with, I can't remember his name, but anyway, they are supposed to look at that and try to do something. There's 2 more on Wayside Meadows, doing the exact same thing, and if there are other low water bridges, I'm sure they're all doing the same thing. And the Gate Road, I did mention that to them too. They're supposed to be fixing it. There was a ditch on it that, like I said, my truck would drag. It was pretty bad, but all of our roads in the county, even in our surrounding counties, you know, I mean, this end of Virginia seems like is, you know, on our road situations being overlooked, I think so. But that's all I've got. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Brickey?
I've decided I'm not going to tell people that our taxes went down 3 cents. I figured up it's 3.75% decrease that it's going to go down. I think 3.75 sounds better than 3 cents.
It does. I'm impressed with it.
It is. I figured, you know, 80 and then divide that in 3. I've been. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say.
I like your math.
I do too. I like your numbers. That sounds better.
You can tell you school, you know, you're a principal in school, so it's coming out, you know. So.
I drove around one day this week or over the weekend trying to see our new holding trailer, and it is out there. You can't get out there where they're placing it, but if you go down by the street out there where the marijuana shop is, you can see it through there. Or back down Jackson, you can see it from Jackson up by the old library there, and that's going to be pretty good. It'll be ready tomorrow. And Deputy Thacker, you heard like we did about the sewer down in Yuma. Spread the word, okay?
I'll be sure to let
You okay? All right.
So I can get some contracts.
And roads, Jeremy, you're exactly right. Our road problem starts in Richmond.
Yes.
That's where the problem is, and we've got to get some attention at our meeting. I thought we had a good meeting, but that lady did say that they had a machine coming to put new culverts in, and they sent it back because of pollywogs or things they were going to kill. She said they sent it back. You all heard that too.
I know.
And when I mentioned it to the guy last month, I kind of felt silly because he'd never heard of it. Of course, he's new down here. But I just wish we could get some things done on the roads all over the county.
All right.
I don't get that one, Mike, you know.
3.75.
No, I'm talking about, you know, pollywogs and stuff like that.
Oh.
I mean, you have ditches that are supposed to be cleaned out, you know, routinely, and
she said they're environmental engineers or something. When we met with them, they decided to send it back.
Joe, the part I don't understand, I don't mean to butt in, but you know, the EPA has all these restrictions. What about the runoff from these gravel roads that's destroying land? It's running off. When I was talking about the gravel that's washed up against these low water bridges, if you look at it, it's not natural creek gravel. It's gravel from these roads.
Right.
And why are they allowed to let that runoff run into our creeks if they're so important, if they have so much emphasis to put on the environment? To me, that's worse than anything. I agree.
You should see how many rock have washed down in, and it's on Midway Road, where Gabe's farm is.
Oh yeah.
Down through there.
Tons.
I mean,
thousands of tons.
Thousands. Yeah. I mean, it's
They
multiple.
get it back and reuse it.
Well, I mean, and he could. I mean, he really could.
I know exactly where you're talking about.
I mean, it's
I can take you
unbelievable at how many times.
5 or 6 different places as far as you can see.
Yep.
It's wooded area is just gravel. And if somebody, the landowner, if they would want to come in there and cut the timber and make that into pasture, it'd be impossible because there's thousands of tons of gravel on private property. And to me, that's a destruction, and that's a bad deal.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Brickey?
No, that's all.
Ms. Hood?
I think we had a productive meeting today. And I still get calls, people wanting water and clean air, people who live on dirt roads and want pavement done. So that's primarily what I do, is talk with people about getting the roads paved and getting some clean water.
All right. What's that?
Yes, first thing, I want to thank all of the staff here for everything that they do. It's amazing what you all are doing to know what goes on behind the scenes before these meetings and everything, and to get us where we are. And I am going to go out on a limb here, though. I do want to address something that I have recently seen. And I really appreciate the folks and the students from Twin Springs. It's so critical and it's so important to be involved. And I want to say this to the parents that are watching this, and to all of us. It's extremely important to pay attention to what's going on around us. Without saying, I'm going to say the issues that we see on the news that are occurring in other counties and other school systems with different agendas and things of that nature, which this board has no control over, and I realize that, and I am saying this as a citizen. But I have seen things posted on social media that have really, really, really disturbed me. And it has been some of our school teachers that have posted things that they would allow into their classrooms. So I have to say something. This is my platform. This is I'm not going to get out and blare it on Facebook and point things out on Facebook. But I do want to say it's so important that the parents, you get involved with these school boards, and you know what's going on in your schools, and you know what's going on in your libraries, and you know what's going on with your kids' education and what they're being taught. It's imperative. And I don't have children, but I have a niece and a nephew that I would go to the end of the earth for. And it's just weighing heavy on my heart that I have to say something about it. I just want to encourage everybody, do you know what books are in your kids' libraries? Do you know what those are? Do you know what they're being taught? Do you know what those types of things are? I was just really disturbed by a Facebook post from a current employee. And it is, like I said, it has weighed heavy on my heart to say something. And I don't know what else to say. If anybody else has anything they want to add to that, feel free. But now, like I said, this is, it was a very personal thing for me, and I had to say something. So, and like I said, I was not going to blare it on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, because that's not how you win things like this. So.
Stephanie, I applaud you for saying that and speaking out publicly about it, because it's very important. It's very concerning. And I think you hit it spot on. And it should be very concerning to each one of us and each one of you out there. And it falls back to the parents. And knowing and being involved.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Just.
All right, we're down to the end. I don't have anything. Thank the staff. Appreciate those kids coming and everybody coming to speak today. Thank all of you for what you do. And next meeting, May the 3rd, we'll be back here at 8:30 on Wednesday morning. We'll walk between now and then with the budget committee meetings and everything else going on. So if you can't go to that thing on the High Knob, Frida's going to drive up there. If you don't know where to go, I think Selma said she was going to go with her to that Thunderstruck thing. So, pardon?
Is it the parking lot?
Yeah, I said right before we went that time. Yeah. All right, nothing else. Meeting is hereby adjourned.